truth, then obviously the message that you have will be something that you can share with others, right? Talk to him. You believe it's the truth, and you are saying, I talk to him.
I don't know.
So brother, if I had the truth and I was talking to him, yeah, then I'd want to share the truth, isn't it? But if you know that you're right, then you should know why you're right. Do you understand? Do you get my point?
That, right?
I'm just saying.
So why do you think the religion that you have is the truth?
I believe Jesus died for us, for our sin.
Oh, Hindi aati hai?
Don't you believe he was God?
Tuj pe I'm on the thing. Good.
Son of God is also God in one sense, right?
It was a compliment, whatever it was.
But why do you believe that God has to die for your sins?
To pay the price of our sin. So he shared the blood.
So God creates, let's see if I can get this, correct me if I'm wrong. God creates human being knowing that they will commit sin, and what he does, he creates them, and then he commits a sacrificial system on himself. He sacrifices his own life.
Suicide.
Or sacrifice.
Suicide,
Is that what it's called, suicide?
Well,
I don't think they consider that suicide.
No, you don't know.
I don't think that's the word that we use.
Old Testament, you sacrifice lamb or bird or something for
No,
yourself.
don't walk off.
So God
stand here,
creates human
stand
being
here.
knowing that they will do sin, and then to save them,
They said,
he sacrificed himself.
God created Adam and Eve first. And,
He created the
Adam
Shaitan
and-
first.
Adam and-
Satan
yeah,
first?
Adam and as a man.
Adam comes later. Man is the
Adam,
first
man,
one.
man.
Correct.
But the Satan came as a snake, as a cheater. That's where the sins, I believe that's where the sins goes in the
That God knew all of that.
human beings.
God
You
But you
know
believe
all
in
those things because he's
God-
a scholar
God-
debating here every
God
week.
knew all of that, right?
Satan is a liar, the father of lies, a deceiver, the opposer of the truth, opposer of the words of
So,
God. From
God
the
knowing
beginning,
all of that,
God created
He creates
Adam
someone,
and Eve.
and the way He saves it
He
is by
created Adam and Eve and told them not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The day you eat it, you will surely die. But Satan, the deceiver, the opposer of the words of God, opposer of the truth, told Eve, no, you will not die, you eat. Today, God has spoken from heaven and said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Repent to the Lord Jesus Christ. Angel Gabriel told Mary that she will have the Son of the Most High God. Jesus Christ declared, I am the Son of God.
I think
but
she's
Satan,
preaching, so we're
Satan,
having a discussion.
the
It's not really
opposer of the
very
truth,
polite
opposer
to come
of
in
the
a
words of
discussion
God,
when someone
saying
is
that
speaking
Jesus
to each other
is not
and they
the
start
Son of
preaching
God.
and interrupting. It's
Jesus
not very,
Christ
very
said
good
Satan is a
thing to do.
liar, the father of
You want to
lies,
tell her that?
a murderer from the beginning.
So let's
and
come
a
here. We'll
deceiver.
talk. No. So because when we're having a
I want to
conversation,
know the truth, brother.
when we're having a
Jesus Christ
conversation,
is the way, the truth,
someone
and
rudely
the
comes
life.
to.
I know the truth, that's why I'm
Amen.
Of course
Glory
that's
to
what you say, right?
Jesus. Satan is
So
a liar.
what we are saying is this. So you believe.
So if you're afraid of the truth, that's fine, brother. But
Not
on the day
afraid of the
but
truth.
on
Jesus Christ
I
is
was
the
talking
truth.
to him. Yeah, brother, if you're
He is
afraid,
the
if you
truth.
don't have a mind to cook for yourself, I have a mind to cook for
Jesus
yourself.
Christ is
So God, in your belief system, yes, He knows human beings will fall and commit sin, whether with the help of Satan or otherwise, their own sin. Satan isn't always responsible. You accept that? You can make your sin by your own self, right? Or are you going to blame Satan all the time? Sometimes human beings do their sin of their own volition, of their own will. Satan doesn't have to come in because he knows that you're going to commit sin anyway. So he doesn't waste his time. He goes somewhere else where he can influence others and do this whispering thing. So God saves these human beings that He created by killing Himself. Why has He taken this very strange solution? What do you think?
I don't know how to answer that.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there are lots of ideologies in the system around, lots of belief system in the system around. People believe, you know how people believe in Vishnu and in Krishna. I'm sure you come from the world, Kerala?
I know,
Yeah. So they have different beliefs of how God can become an avatar and become a Hanuman or a flower or a turtle or a fish or a monkey or
I don't know. If God says not judge others.
no. What I'm saying is in other belief system where people have this belief where God can come down as a creation of some kind, whether a human being called Krishna, he was a human being, but he was also some kind of avatar of this God, right? So this belief system, would you say it makes sense to you, the belief that they have? I'm not saying I'm not going to ask you to judge them. Let's not judge their belief system. Are you going to say this belief system makes sense?
I'm not going to answer about that.
If you asked me, I would say this system.
No, I'm not going to answer.
Okay, fine. But if you asked me, for example, I would say this belief system doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I mean, God, who's supposed to be all knowledgeable, becomes ignorant. Doesn't make sense to me. Why? Because I affirm God is all knowledgeable first. Then I cannot then at the same time affirm he can become ignorant, because that goes against what I've affirmed. If I have affirmed God is everlasting and eternal, no beginning, no end, I cannot then again affirm that he can be killed and he can cease to exist. I cannot do that, because that will be contradiction to what I've affirmed. So certain systems of belief would not make sense, and we can clearly say that. It's not a judgmental position on someone's belief system. It's basically saying this system of belief doesn't make sense. If they try to explain to you how it makes sense, of course, let them do that, and you can see how they explain it. Belief system like yourself, like for example the question that I asked about God trying to save people by sacrificing his own self, is simply a very strange solution. You could simply say, okay, look, everyone has their beliefs and actions, and all of you will be dealt with in accordance with justice, where the wicked is not going to get away and the good people will be rewarded, the bad people will be punished, in the concept of absolute justice. Because God knows that he created human beings who are going to fall short, because he created them short. Yeah. So he's not going to just say, oh, now to save them I'm going to punish myself. It doesn't make sense. So this is the Islamic position, that the way one believes is by saying nothing is worthy of worship. So you actually can analyze everything you want if you want to and say, but that concept of God doesn't make sense. The concept given, that God is not worthy of worship. A tree God, a monkey God, or a fish God, or a woman God, or a man God, or a moon God, or a sun God of any kind. Anything in the creation that has been deified, like they have done in our Indian subcontinent, in the Vedas, in the Puranas. Yeah? We should say it doesn't befit the majesty of God. God is like this, and we should say these gods don't deserve our worship. But there is a God. Eventually, like the faith that you have, eventually you will say, but ultimately there is one who is worthy of worship. Ultimately, there is a God who is worthy of worship. And that is the God that deserves. That is the God that deserves our worship, right?
If that's Jesus, tell him how. That's what he's asking.
That's what he meant for us.
Okay. Jesus Christ is believed by Christians, many Christians I know, to be God, right? Son of God and God. That's what they believe. That's what you believe. But if you were to think about this, if Jesus was God in some way, yeah?
Son of God, yeah.
Son of God, and by virtue of being Son of God, he also possesses divine qualities. In your belief?
Yes.
Yeah. So
He's divine.
yeah, that's what you believe, right?
Yes.
So if this was the case,
Yes.
you would expect him not to say, I can't do anything of my own self. Not to say, I don't know when the world's going to come to an end. Not to say, all power is given unto me. You would expect him not to say, I'm going to my God and your God. Because if you are God or divine in some way, you do not need to have power given to you, authority given to you, because you will have this authority inherently by yourself. No one has to give that to you. You would not say, I have a God that I'm going to, because there is no God over you, because you are God. No one can bring you into existence because you will have no beginning. You cannot say, I don't know what's going to happen later, because you're supposed to be all knowledgeable, because you have no beginning, and you have knowledge, and your knowledge is not restricted. So if Jesus in your belief actually says what I said to you, in your New Testament, he actually says those things. I have no power of my own. I cannot do things of my own. But if you look at it now, the example that I'm quoting, it doesn't befit for God of any kind to say that thing. It doesn't make sense. Because if you're God, you cannot say,
Okay, brother. Thank you very much. It don't make you sense, but it makes me sense. That's why. You believe in Allah, I believe in my Jesus.
to you, your way, to us, our way.
Yes.
But hopefully, we can learn from each other to think and reflect. You can ask me and think, okay, no, at least I can learn more about Jesus Christ, and I can say you can learn more about the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Likewise, yeah. Take care. Take care.